Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report from Skyworks Solutions, and let me tell you, the plot thickens faster than your grandma's gravy. It's an 8K filing, which is like a corporate breaking news alert. Get ready for some shareholder votes, because apparently even the stock market has elections. So in this report, Skyworks Solutions had their annual meeting and stockholders voted on some pretty important things. It's all about who's in charge and what direction the company is heading. It seems that shareholders voted on everything from who sits on the board of directors to some pretty interesting proposals about how the company reports its environmental impact. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss these filings with other investors. Let's get right to it. This section tells us all about the company's annual meeting and the results of all the votes. Think of it like the corporate version of election night, but instead of politicians, we have board members and proposals. First up, the election of directors. Basically, shareholders got to pick who sits on the board, which is like the company's governing body. Each of the nominees, Alan S. Beatty, Kevin L. Beebe, Philip G. Brace, Eric J. Guerin, Christine King, Suzanne E. McBride, David P. McGlade, Robert A. Schriesheim, and Marianne Turk got over 18 million votes in favour. It's worth noting the broker non-votes column, which represents shares held by brokers who didn't vote on this matter. Over 13 million shares for each director nominee. Next, the shareholders voted to say yay or nay on the company's choice of KPMG LA as their accounting firm for the year. Think of it as approving the person who checks the company's homework. The company is basically asking, hey, is it okay if we have KPMG do our books again? A whopping 122 million votes were cast in favor of keeping KPMG, which says the shareholders have confidence in that choice. About 8 million votes went against and almost 4 million abstained. Then there was a vote on the compensation of the company's top executives. This is a non-binding vote, meaning the company doesn't have to change anything based on the outcome, but it's a good way to gauge how shareholders feel about how much the big bosses are getting paid. 109 million voted yes, about 10 million voted no, and a small fraction, around 370,000, abstained. Again, keep in mind those broker non-votes. Moving on, the shareholders voted on a proposal to change how things are decided at the company. Shareholders voted to approve simple majority vote for proposals in the future, which means that it will be easier to pass measures moving forward since it only requires a simple majority and not some other special rule to pass. 17 million votes in favour with over 1 million against. Now, for something a little different, the shareholders voted on a proposal about greenhouse gas emissions. Specifically, it was about disclosing something called Scope 3 emissions. Scope 3 refers to all the emissions that come from a company's supply chain and when customers use their products. This isn't about what comes out of Skyworks' own factories, but what happens because of the company's products and activities. However, therefore, that is because of the not pass, there were only about 26 million votes in favour, while over 93 million voted against it. This suggests that a majority of shareholders were not in favour of disclosing these emissions, possibly due to the cost and complexity of gathering the information. Now let's step back and look at the big picture. It looks like the company is headed in a direction most of the shareholders agree with. One thing to note is the vote on the Scope 3 greenhouse gas emissions. This is important because it highlights the growing focus on environmental responsibility. Although the proposal didn't pass, the fact that it was even on the ballot shows that these issues are becoming more important to investors. Companies that want to attract long-term investors will need to think about how they address these environmental concerns. Alright, that's our breakdown of Skyworks Solutions' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.